Thanks for watching. I'm Prerna Agarwal, Technical Product Owner for the Guardian. Today we'll be giving you Guardian update of Sprint 90 that lasted from April 28 to May 9th. So just a quick overview of the agenda. We'll be looking at the Guardian roadmap. We'll be also talking about the issues that we tackled in Sprint 90. Then we'll be looking at the demo of Sprint 90. Then we'll be looking ahead of week of May 12th, which is Sprint 91. We'll be also talking about the issues that we'll be tackling in Sprint 91. We'll be talking about the upcoming releases, and we'll be also giving you some of the ways you can either submit bugs or policy requests through various different channels. Talking about Guardian roadmap, so we completed our work on the accessing a Guardian policy from another instance which haven't published. We are continuing our work on VN0049, which is carbon capture and storage V1.0. Then we are also working on the development of VM33. We are also working on the exporting project data in the CSV format. Talking about Sprint 90, in Sprint 90 we committed to 71 story points and we delivered 40 story points, which actually includes 3951, which is accessing a Guardian policy from Guardian instance other than the publishing instance. We would also be looking at the demo of this one before we go to Sprint 91 updates. So now let's look at Sprint 90 demo. So the ticket 3951 is basically accessing a Guardian policy from a Guardian instance other than the publishing instance. A publishing Guardian policy is currently only accessible from the Guardian instance that published it. Consider a scenario where a standards body publishes the policy for a specific project. In such scenario, the validator, the data curator, and the verifier who were contracted by the project developer to provide the services to the project will all have to log in to the standard body is a Guardian instance to do their week work on the policy. Now consider a validator, verifier, data curator with clients across multiple example 7 different standard bodies. That service provider will have to log into and log out of 7 different Guardian instances in order to do their work. This problem scales in a truly decentralized setup where there are tens of small independent standard bodies and other service providers have project developers as clients across many or all of those independent standard bodies. Allowing service providers to access their clients' policies from a service provider's own Guardian instances will make a big difference in this setup. So in order to make this or execute or complete this particular decentralized Guardian feature, we have a demo right now, which I will be giving you a short demo video where we are showing like 2 different instances communicating with each other and accessing a policy which by the instance which haven't published that. So here as you can see that we do have 2 different instances, which is Guardian 1 and Guardian 2. So Guardian 1 is this is a standard registry and this is a VVB of the same instance. And this is on another instance a project proponent. Now let's look at how this particular policy, which is published by Guardian 1, is accessible through Guardian 2 and how the processes are being processed asynchronously and how it happens. So as you can see, we have the CDM policy, which is being imported by one of the instance, and they are trying to publish this, but now in order for them to access this policy by another instance, they have to actually select the availability as public, and then they need to publish this policy publicly to make sure that this policy is accessed by other instances. So once the policy is published in Guardian 1, as you can see, the policy is published by Guardian 1. And then we go back and we take the message timestamp of this particular policy in order to import into another instance. So we copy this public link, which is nothing but the message timestamp of that particular policy. We copy it. And then here In the list of policies of another instance, I go to remote policy tab, which is a new tab now, and then I copy paste that particular message timestamp. So as this particular policy is published publicly, that is visible publicly, and then second instance can easily search that through message timestamp and then can import it. So as you can see now it's been imported, but this is currently in the external policies because this particular user haven't received the access to access that policy, just imported. Now you can also download the profile now of the user by clicking on the download profile, which will actually have the .user extension. So once that is downloaded, you come to Guardian instance, the initial instance, and then you can actually go to project proponent and you can also add the remote user details, which is nothing but uploading the .user file of Guardian 2. So now as you can see that you are connected to Guardian 2 project proponent user through Guardian 1. And you can also verify that this two account ID, user topic, everything is similar, but the instances are different. Now I log out. I again go back to standard registry. And as usual, I just give some permissions, what we already have it in Guardian, to access that particular policy because the user is now the same user. So once you give the permissions to the user, now the Guardian 2 user, the project proponent, will have access to that policy and it will be visible in the list of policies. So now as you can see that I just logged out of the project proponent in Guardian 2 and logged in as a standard registry. And here I can just approve or reject because my user is connected. So I have that ability to access that external policies through my standard registry. So once I approve it, it will be moving from the remote policies to my manage policies page. So once my policy is approved, I again go back as a project proponent and then I click on the remote policy and now you can see, and now you can actually register the role as project proponent, project participant, and for the VVB as well, I'm just creating a new role as VVB and I'm assigning the permissions to the VVB in Guardian 1. So as you can notice here, as we are assigning the VAB role, this Guardian 2 instance or the user have to hold on and you could see a message saying that you have new remote policy actions, wait for the event to be processed, indicating that there is some operations going on in the current policy which you are working on. So you need to keep on a hold and then says that the operations which are being performed will be completed and then again he would be able to access the policy, which is nothing but having asynchronously been accessing the policy. So as you can see that this is kind of like an asynchronous process where you are executing a policy by two different instances, but then it is the same policy and then they have to just wait if there is any policy being accessed or executed or there is any role being updating the policy. So as you can also notice that there is one new tab as policy request over here, indicating that whenever there is a new action performed, you will get that approval or request so that you can approve or reject that particular request from any other instance to make sure that particular request is being processed by the policy in a correct order and it's the policy is executing properly. So this is a normal, I would not go over each of them, indicating that we are just trying to execute the AMS3AR policy. The steps of the policy is the same, it's just the asynchronous manner where you are able to execute the steps by two different instances at the same time, and then you can use it. So here, as you can see, this is a kind of like an overview of how the policy requests look like. Like you would see the block tag, which is getting executed with the message stem, the document type, which is the VC, or it is sending a message. And you can also have an option of approving or rejecting the policy requests. So you see this, there is also one new message which you would see if there is a policy request pending that you have a new remote policy request awaiting your response. Please respond to proceed with the policy process. You need to definitely accept or reject the policy request before you proceed with the policy execution. So this is a whole process. Like I would just like to skip and make sure that you see the trust chain over here after getting all the things executed. Here you also have to grant the KYC, which is a kind of a process which we have in the policy, but that will be granted access by the main standard registry. And they have to grant access to the project proponent and also the VVB to mint the tokens. So once the KYC is granted, they can mint the tokens and execute the policy. So once the policy is executed, as you can see that you would be able to see the trust chain be invisible with all the details. And you can also see the tokens being minted in the project proponent of another instance because that is a user who have minted, so the project proponent have an permission to view the tokens and the minted. In order to get more information, you can also look at docs.hedera.com, and when you go there under the standard registry section, you should be able to see a decentralized guardian section there where you should be able to see a step-by-step process, and also all the APIs related to that decentralized guardian will be available in our documentation. If you have any further questions, feel free to please reach out to us and make sure you have all your questions answered on the decentralized guardian feature. Now, looking ahead of Sprint 91, currently we are committing to 29 story points, which includes 4057, which is no password policy. We are trying to implement a password policy so that it have every Guardian instance have a strong policy, strong password, which includes different levels. Then we are also working on 3680, which is exporting project data in CSV format. And we have one of the audit issue, which is 4110, which is server-side request forgery and request data module. Talking about our upcoming releases, our last release was on Friday, January 31st, 2025. Our next release will be on Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. So there are multiple ways to reach out to us. You can submit bugs, policy request enhancements through our GitHub. If you haven't joined our Discord, please join our Discord at hedera.com/Discord and search for sustainability channel. and yeah, even there you can submit the policy request enhancements, or you can directly reach out to Envision to us, which is through our website, which is www.envisionblockchain.com, or through our website, through our email, which is info@envisionblockchain.com. Thank you. Have a great day.